Good evening, and hello, and welcome to Being Black and Craft, where we don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the Undeniable Vixen, your moderator for this evening, and we have an amazing guest and lots of church announcements. So, let's get right into beer news. So, just to let y'all know, finally, I've the time has come, and we did CBC last week. We did a lot of CBCing last week. Went to Vegas and on the move, on the go, a lot. What can I tell you? It was usually, if you've never been to CBC, it is overwhelming in good ways, and like, maybe I needed to do some other things to prepare. One thing that I did, rookie mistake, was I thought I was going to be cute one day for the first day, and I put on some sneakers that did not do well. And I think that pretty much had me gone for the rest of the week. So always wear comfortable shoes, not for fashion, but for your peace of mind and your needs, because you need them. But I did do a thing. We, myself with Blanca, Sarah, and Sade, we are a part of the Pink Boots Society's DEI committee, and we did a talk on courageous conversations, how to have that uncomfortable talk. And it was like a panelist, and I was doing moderating, which I'm usually doing, and giving some little tidbits here and there. And I believe that our talk was very receptive. I saw people leaning in, taking notes, and people commenting and talking about it afterwards, after the Thrive conference, because it's a pre-conference for CBC, how much they did enjoy it. So I'm also interested to see about what the feedback is going to be. Other things that went on during that time, of course, we had MB2A, their tap takeover. One of our favorites we have, which is Grown Folks Seltzer. She was part of the tap takeover, and her peach cobbler sold out. So that was really good. I finally got a chance to taste it, and it is really, 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 really good. I thought I was kind of over seltzer. No, not kind of. I know I was over seltzer because we had been inundated with it, and some good and some not so good. But this one is really full of flavor. Her product, Danica's product, Grown Folks, we had that there during the tap takeover, along with some other beers, Oak Park, Green Bench, trying to think of course, Crowns and Hops, pretty much anybody that you can think of in the beer game in that area was came and hung out. A lot of people didn't go to CBC, but they actually went to the after parties and the happy hours just to kind of get together, because it's not that often, other than when we go to Barrel and Flow, that we see so many people of color in the beer business. So it was great to see some folks and check them out. Got to see Funky Town as well. They came and hung out. It was really great. And what else did I have to tell you? So we also did Pink Boots, because I'm part of the board. We had a meetup as well at Las Vegas Brewing Company, and that particular location is an all-female brewing staff. So that was really cool to be in a place that supports women and non-binary in the fermentables. With acuteness to beer at that location. And so much so, uh, Lindsay with Beers for Everyone, she had an event there as well. So we kind of double teamed and went to that location. It was a really nice space, really relatively new. So if you're in the Las Vegas area, make sure that you check out Las Vegas Brewing as well as CBP. They have something at Huddle and Abel Baker. I'm going to totally forget as many times I went to this one brewery. Well, it's a pub, but it was so much fun, and I cannot think of the name of it. Oh my God, I can't think of the name of it. But if you go to Vegas, it is basically, they were named the mom and pop business of the year. It's like going to Cheers and just blowing up with all kinds of fanfare, all kinds of beer artifacts and stuff, and really good selection of beers. So let's see. Then we also did the Brewster Arm Wrestling Contest. I went, and they were running a little bit late. And as I said, my knees had already expired, so I was ready to ready to go. I wasn't able to stand. I think I did like a little bit of a wobble, the wobble dance, and I was out. I was down for the count. But that is a really great event that they usually have during CBC, which is a fundraiser for Wild West Access Fund to raise money for abortion access in Nevada. And usually whatever states they go to, they usually search that out to find that type of fundraiser. Then, of course, my other hat that I held is Lifting Lucy, and we were at we had the House of Lucy. Thanks again to Abstract is being a sponsor for us to house 5 women in the House of Lucy, and gave me the opportunity to see Sarah, who's with Hot Plate in Montana, then Hannah Dope Cidery in Youngstown, Ohio, and Appleway in South Africa. So stay tuned for that, because I did get a chance to have a conversation with her. So, and I actually did get to try her beers, her ciders. She brought some ciders. So I guess the last thing I have, if you don't know me, you need to know this one thing about me. I'm a Star Wars nerd. So my holiday is coming up very, very soon. May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day. I didn't take the day off, but I will be celebrating at my desk in excess. And my babies, Wookie and Leia, they're probably going to get a special treat. So I think that is it for all of the beer news. So I think we are ready. I think I've gone through everything. I've rattled and prattled along. So let's go ahead and invite our guest. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I am great. How are you? So, okay, first thing, I see you say Ashley, but I know you have alphabets in front of your name. So, do you mind being called Dr. Ashley, or we're just Ashley is good?
Ashley's fine. Everyone's like, I need to get into people calling me doctor because I earned it, but Ashley's fine.
Yeah, I'm telling you, look, when you have alphabets in front and behind your name, you need, hey, you did the work. I'm just Angie.
Yeah, Ashley's fine.
Oh, thank you, Ashley. Hot Plate is in Hot Plate that Sarah is from Massachusetts, and the location that I was talking about in Las Vegas is Silver Stamp. Totally, I could not remember, but I've had sleep and cocktails and pain medicine since then, so I can't remember everything. But I am so glad to be talking to you.
Me too.
So, oddly enough, we were I scroll Instagram, minding my business, loving Jesus like I do, and I found Mocktails for Mommy.
Yeah.
And so when I put an inbox and you were like, "Well, no, it's a non-alcoholic," I was like, "And it's crafted. It's still in the same house because we because like one of our sponsors for Lifting Lucy had been Athletic, which is a
Yeah.
non-alcoholic beer, and that's what I have to drink today anyway. But everything is included when it comes to craft, and so I was like, no, please do not let that deter you, because I still want to know, because there is a big market for
Yeah.
non-alcoholic
Yeah.
beverages.
Real
So
big.
you're coming in on the ground level, and so this just reaching up to the top to go to that.
Yeah.
So as I pour in my as I continue on with my being nerdy, I got my Grogu glass. I'm
I
gonna
love it.
pour, and this is Trailblazers by uh, Athletic, and it's Hoppy Hellas. And
Oh,
actually, when we went to CBC, we have a World Beer Cup, and uh, Athletic also did a partner with Lifting Lucy to make a Soul Sour series, and it won a medal. So
wow.
congratulations to Athletic and Lifting Lucy for that.
That's awesome.
So let me get some more insight about you before we go into the mocktails for mommy.
Sure.
So are you a native to Alabama?
Mm-mm-mm.
Where are you
No.
from?
So I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
I'm a St. Louis girl, but I moved to Huntsville to go to school at Alabama A&M University on a music scholarship to sing in the choir. And that's how they
Mm,
got me down here, and I've been stuck ever since, but in a good way because Huntsville is pretty awesome.
okay. So we can make mock cocktails and we can sing.
Yes,
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay. 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 So how did little Ashley grow up?
How
And
about, oh Lord, oh. Just in life, like with my parents,
yeah,
just.
like what's your family dynamic? Are you only child? Do you have siblings?
Oh, I got two sisters, Jazz and Marissa. I love them. We all have the same over the top, very direct personality.
Mm,
Um, I think we get that from our father because my daddy is. He's amazing, but he's very direct, and what he say, he mean it. Even when he try to joke, it still come off. Yeah. But that's just how we are. Great family dynamic. My parents, grandmother, whole family is very supportive of me, especially with my mocktail business. They're like, just go for it.
okay. Okay. So okay. So you said that singing got you down to Alabama, but
Mhm.
I also noticed that that your I guess your 9 to 5 job is with the food and beverage industry. So what courses did you take in high school or college that got you into the FDA?
Um, so when I was in high school, I was actually in family consumer science, and I don't know if you remember like home ec back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
So when I was in high school, I competed in family consumer science. Like that's something that has always been a part of me. And what a lot of people don't know is that family consumer science on the larger scale has a lot to do with food and how your food is taken care of and how it's processed and
Mm-hmm.
how much sugar is in it and salt and nutrition. I mean, is a big part of family consumer science. So when I went back for my first master's degree, I chose family consumer science. But I was on the human development and family study side. And my main focus was always like pregnant women and families. Like that's something that I've always just wanted to look further or look deeper into that dynamic, especially with pregnant women. Making sure that they have all their nutrition that they need. And I even did like an internship that focused on like getting fit. So the mocktails kind of just it's like a, what do you think? What do you say? It's like a need that was always there. Just somebody had to be the one to like put a fire under it for it to like be exposed.
Okay. So, what would have what? Because I'm thinking as far as like this is your your job that you do. I never thought about thought about that as far as being a career, and I'm wondering what is it? Is it just food science? You're just taking the sciences to get in that particular career.
Oh, who, me?
Mhm.
So tech, well, yes. So yes, I mean the whole thing of what I'm doing with my business is on what I've learned while I was in school. Nutrition, right? Dietitians, to help me further understand, because I only know so much, but they
Mhm.
further help me understand what I'm doing and making sure that I'm getting everything prepared correctly and getting ready for like FDA regulations and knowing those rules and whatnot. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So okay, that's kind of where I'm kind of wondering more about as far as
Yeah.
FDA.
Yeah.
So, what's a typical day at work as far as like working at the FDA? Because do you still currently work at the FDA?
I don't. So
Okay,
I'm full time mocktails right
Mommy.
now.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm full time
okay,
mocktails for mommy right now. But that still doesn't mean that I don't have my contacts and my resources.
yeah.
So I tell people all the time when we talk about like FDA regulations and whatnot, because I'm not an expert, you find your experts, right?
Hmm.
My expert that I found was literally in the Department of Agriculture. Agriculture. You just reach
Okay.
out. You Google. So I'm the Google queen. I feel like that's what like self proclaim myself as. You get on Google and you start just looking for people and like finding people to help you figure out or navigate through whatever it is that you're trying to do. Because I knew I didn't know everything, I started Googling and finding resources. And one really good resource for something like FDA regulations, cooperative extension. So, if you ever heard of like the extension program, it ties right into the same thing I was saying earlier with this family consumer science. Um, those are your people that are going in and making sure that your food is safe. They work with like the health department, making sure that when you go to these restaurants, the food and temperature, the food is up to the correct temperature. So cooperative extension, and I don't know what it might be called in other states, but here it's the Alabama Cooperative Extension, and that's the resource and the connections that I use to help me get where I need to go.
Okay. So, hmm. So, do you think that, like, as far as like the FDA in general,
Mm-hmm.
um, do you think the process is the correct process? Because it seems like it's a lot of red tape, and then it still doesn't go anywhere. Or sometimes something is really fast. Does it depend on the product or how it hits the consumer? Is that
I,
what the thing is?
for me, because I have no alcohol in my product, I don't necessarily have a whole lot of issues with. I haven't had any issues, finger crossed, knock on wood, any issues with the FDA. But again, that's because I went through and used my resources. Like I had someone from the office to help vet my products, right? Before I
Okay.
just say, let's just do it. You reach out and you find those resources and they're like free or $10. Like I
Mhm.
literally paid like $10 to have someone help me like vet my label to make sure it was how it needed to be and in compliance. And so, that's use those resources and you just gotta Google and look it up.
So I was reading that you said that you had for during mocktails when you were getting mocktails for mommy started, that
Mm-hmm.
you had gone from being a single parent to being happily married.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that dash in between. And I want to see if you could give us like 3 tips or advice that you can give a single parent that you learned along the way. As like I wish somebody would have told me.
Mm. Well, I'll say this because I have always been the person that if you tell me no, um like no is not in my vocabulary. So for me to another single parent is that you just have to be resilient. I was told no on so many different occasions. My journey was not easy while I was in undergrad because I'm trying to take care of at that time like a 1 year old and just trying to figure out life, trying to make sure I went to practice and not even the other extracurricular activities because I was working 3 jobs.
Mm,
I was in SGA. I was in all types of organizations. Um, and wherever I went, my child went with me and we just thugged it out. But my advice, honestly, is just literally you have to stay strong, you have to stay focused, and you can't let someone deter you from being whatever you want to be. Once you set that goal, the goal is the goal. Like I said, I wanted to get a doctorate before I turned 30, and well, here we are. And I had so many people tell me that it's impossible, you won't be able to do it. But
mm.
I laugh at people when they tell me that. Like when people say that the mocktail business was a dumb idea. Now it's like, maybe it's not such a dumb idea. So my advice is really you gotta stay the course. Don't let nobody like tear you down. Just keep pushing. When they say no, you say yes and you keep going.
And how influential or resilient it would be to have your tribe. Like who did you lean on during that time period?
Oh, for sure, my grandmother and my parents. Like my family, okay, for the record, my family was not keen on me just up and moving to a whole nother state 3 states away. But I knew St. Louis, and I told them like St. Louis was not for me because I felt stuck. I was working at the airport. I was just like just there, and I wasn't progressing. I
Mm,
felt like I was saying to become better. $100, and I was like, all right, y'all, I'm moving on June 2nd, and Daddy, can you move me down there? And that was like what it was. So my family supported me. My grandmother, when times got hard, she was like, "Hey, can you bring Jeremy up here? You know, to come and stay with us for a little bit until you get yourself together, and then we'll bring him back down." So
mm,
that support helped me to finish like my first degree in like less than 4 years, and then my first master's in another year, my second master's in another year, like just knocking it out. But you can't do it without support. But if you don't have support, you better pray, lean on the Lord, and keep pushing forward.
that's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Um, so that leads me into one of the organizations that I saw called Mommy and Me. When did that start and how long has that been going?
So mommy and me, I started literally right around the same time as I started mocktails for mommy. I
Okay.
knew I knew like I didn't have all the resources and the tools, and to go back to like when I was in school, people made it difficult on me. Let me just I'm not gonna make it like this fairy tale because it's not.
No,
It was very it was
I want to hear. I want to hear the
yeah,
real.
it was very difficult trying to balance life, love, school, education, trying to fit in, because the South has a stigma, right? It's a thing like you have a baby, you're this bad person. I've had people say all kinds of negative things to me.
Mm,
Um, so when I decided to create Mommy and Me, it was to have additional resources and tools and techniques to help single parents further either their education or skills that they may need to become better. And so we launched the Mommy and Me scholarship, and it's just it's been great because so many people are wanting and needing the resources and those tools. And I even teach an advocacy class teaching parents how to advocate for their children in the school systems because
mm.
advocacy is something that I really really believe in.
Yeah, I can try to imagine. just thinking, because I don't have, the only kids I have are have four legs, but hearing some of the stories that kids are telling their parents when they come home,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, they did what?
Oh
And,
yeah.
and it'll be between, peer to peer, or the teachers saying something that, or they're not uh, letting them be their true selves, as far as like
Absolutely.
speaking and answering questions, things that they know. So yeah, that's a great resource.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So so what is the baby box program?
So the baby box program is kind of what it is. It's a box that has baby supplies in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a box. Usually have parents that reach out and say, "Hey, we need those starter supplies. So your wipes, your diapers, bottles. Might have some clothes in there. It's just a box that we put together and put those items in to kind of help parents along." Um, as they start out, because not everybody has it all in the beginning.
So how are you getting these resources? Are you going out of pocket? Are you getting sponsors to help you continue to have that baby box?
So it's a little bit of everything that you're saying, but also we take a percent, or I take a percentage out of all of my sales to go towards Mommy and Me and the Baby Box program. So as we get in requests, we fulfill them as best as we can. We also partner with local shelters to give the baby box or clothes, or we've even come in and done like Christmas parties, and where we bring treats for the kids and makeup boxes and whatnot for the women in the shelter. So we try to do what we can with whatever resources we have.
Okay. So did that lead into I hope I don't say it wrong. Mom mom entrepreneur?
Mompreneur,
Mompreneur. I was like, oh, I was like,
mompreneur, mompreneur.
Mompreneur magazine. And
Yeah.
how can we subscribe to that?
So okay, here's the so all the things that I be doing, it just happens at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I just wake up and it's there. Literally, Mompreneur magazine was something that I just did because I was like, there isn't like a publication that's talking about like mom and like the moms that own businesses. So let me just like do it
Okay.
myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started off, and first it was digital. It was all digital magazine. And I had people from literally all over the country submitting to try to be in it: Oklahoma, Arkansas, Arizona, New York,
Oh
um,
wow.
that wanted to just have a free ad space to just talk
Yeah.
about their business, or to talk about their lives, or to give
Mhm.
words of encouragement. That's what Mompreneur magazine turned into. It started off just like moms and their businesses, but now I got men wanting to be in the magazine. I have just everybody wants to just like put their story out there, because at the end of the day, it's a platform where you can tell your truth and you can say your story, or you can advertise your business. Um, so that's kind of how that all started.
Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and dive into mocktails for mommy.
Okay.
So you have wine, and then you have cocktails in the can, which is, I think it's a new.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me about the wines that you have.
Sure. So our wine is called Mama, and I launched my very first product, or launched the wine in January of 23, which was my flagship product, Moscato Peach. And I came up with the idea because I saw that there weren't any women of color having their own alcohol free wine. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started to do some research, like, how can I get this wine? Like, how can I get it going? What can I do? Um, I started just reaching out to wineries. When I say all over the world, I'm talking about all over the world, everywhere, to see if someone would be able to help me create an alcohol free wine. Um, weren't very many to pick from. Weren't very many that was willing to help.
Well, let me ask you this. So,
Sure.
you creating the mocktail, was it just for any like religious reasons, personal reasons? You
Mm-mm.
just wanted to have something that was not alcoholic? Because that's something, because at the time when you launched it, people were like, you doing what now? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering how you came to decide, okay, I want a wine, but I want to be non-alcoholic.
Yeah, I was pregnant during the pandemic. Like
Okay.
that's what happened. I was pregnant. And I literally kept telling my husband, like, I need something to drink. It's stressful. The pandemic, I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember the pandemic, it stressed me out. I
Yeah.
was so stressed. Literally I started making the mocktails on Instagram and Facebook. I started doing like
Okay.
little videos like, hey, everybody's asking for mocktails from mommy and I'm gonna make a pina colada. Like just random ingredients that I found out my kitchen, um making these concoctions to try to make it mimic an alcoholic beverage. And literally, this lady posted on my Facebook page and was like, you don't understand what you're doing is going to help so many people. I'm like, girl, like, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to do something to keep
So
me,
for you, yeah.
yeah, just for me to keep myself entertained. Because really, I really was making these videos to keep myself from going crazy in the house.
Right.
Um, but as things started to pick up, the mocktails started to like take off. I'm like, okay, she might be onto something. So I started doing like little pop-up vendor events where I would just make like little mocktails and at these events. And then we got invited to a local wine wine festival here in Huntsville. And while I was there, I was standing in the middle of the grass and I'm like, something ain't right. Where's like the non-alcoholic stuff, or where's like the other options, and where are the
Mhm.
black owned businesses? I said there isn't one. So we went, me and my husband walked over to another NA wine brand. I was so excited. And it's just me being true and authentic and very transparent because I want people to really know, like, this is what I live. But we were so excited. I went over there and I was like, I want to start my own alcohol-free wine brand. It's going to be amazing. Just like talking to them. And they're like, oh, no, honey, it's going to be too hard. You're not going to be able to do it. Here's
Mm.
ours. Try ours. Use ours. And I'm like, what? No, I want
Mhm.
to create my own. And
Right.
that moment sparked a fire under me. And whether they were doing it purposefully or not, it was, I think, the fire that I needed to like
Mhm.
say it's go time. Um,
If you don't like, no.
okay,
Okay.
especially somebody tell me I can't do it, child.
Right.
We're gonna find a way. And I did, and literally I got up. That's why, leading back to me getting on the phone calling all these wineries all over the world,
Yeah.
literally reaching out to hundreds and hundreds of wineries. Like, nothing is very expensive. So finding a winery, finding people that's willing to believe in your mission and your vision, and that will accept that you ain't got a whole lot of money, is a rare find.
Okay.
Very rare. Like, literally I would get on the phone and say, hey, I'm Ashley, and I have this idea to make my own alcohol-free wine brand, but I only got
Mhm.
$500. Can you help me? Half of them would laugh or hang up the phone.
Oh no.
it, but it's one of those things where, like, in life, you're gonna get rejections, right? You just have to keep going and keep knocking until you find that one or that two that's gonna say, okay. Now I've had some that's like, yeah, I'll do it for $15,000 or $20,000. I'm like, well, you heard me say I only got $500. Like,
Right.
so it's just one of those things where, like, it just it was it's like divine. It just happens when it's supposed to happen. It happens. And for me,
So
it is.
where did you end up as far as a winery? Was it somewhere in the United States, or did you have to go overseas to find something?
So a little bit of both. A
Okay.
little bit of both. So we found a winery in Veneto, Italy, and then we found a winery in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
So I had to go that far. I
Okay.
had to go that far to get someone to like give me a chance. Oh, and a winery in New York. So literally those three were the only
Mhm.
one out of hundreds of wineries to give me a chance.
Wow. So um you have three wines or four?
We have three wines. We have two
Okay.
Prosecco's,
Okay.
and then we have the Mocktail Magic, which is the canned drinks.
So, okay, the mocktail magic, that's kind of new because I think I saw the beautiful can and then I saw something that was like, is it what my brain wants to say pickles. Am I crazy?
So
What's
that was so that was my that was my April Fool's like joke that I had. You know,
because I
people
was
do
like,
like an April
okay.
Fool's joke. But listen, I put that out there. I had so many people saying that like
Pickles is a thing.
they want it. I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do. Like
Yes.
they people tell me they drink pickle juice all the time. It was like, girl, I was ready to buy my cans. So I'm like, okay, well, I might
It
have
it really is a thing. They're
to.
like here we have a brewery and basically they do uh I think it seems like a science experiment. It's like a dare. Sometimes some of the beers they put out are dares. They put out a beer that's basically Taco Bell's mild sauce packets.
What?
It's supposed to taste like that. But one of their claim to fame is best made pickles, pickle beer.
That's crazy.
That's what they stand on, and it goes all across the country.
And I'm
So
and I'm thinking like it was just a joke. I mean,
mm-mm,
people
you
they
might
were
want to
like
reconsider.
ready. They were ready. Well, you know.
You might want to reconsider. So okay, so it's just really truly the one. And what's the flavor of the one that's legitimate?
Okay, that one is lavender haze.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Lavender haze. It's really good.
So what lavender and what kind of fruit is in that?
So you have a little bit of lime and lemon. So all the base of my drinks or the when I come up with these drinks is fruit,
Mm-hmm.
right? So even if you're think like when I was making drinks, I thought of fruits and spices. What can I recreate that's going to help you to think when you're drinking this drink that it tastes just like I don't know, a margarita, right? When you taste the margarita, you taste that lime, you taste that bitterness, that kick, orange juice a little bit. If you're doing a strawberry margarita, add some strawberries. If
Mm,
you think of taking a shot of Jack Daniels, when you taste it, it has that burn going down. So
yeah.
you might use like some peppercorn, cumin, spices. So
Right.
when I make drinks, I think more so not necessarily I think more so of the ingredients in terms of what I can use to make it mimic the actual drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your out of your line? What's your top seller?
The peach moscato,
Okay.
which is my flagship um product. The peach moscato is I sell out every week consistently with this
Mm,
one.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I also saw that you became a target cohort. Tell me a
Mhm.
little bit more about that. How did you accomplish that?
Yeah. So, I don't know what it is about me, but I just do stuff, right? I just do things. Like I see something, I do it. And I just say, if it's for me, it's for me. So the Target Accelerator Program started their application process. I started doing my application. I'm sitting there, I'm typing, I'm really thinking of like, how can I tell my story and get it where it's compelling enough that they would want to put me in their program. Um, I sat and I just typed it all out, like everything. Uh, and then they just picked me. And I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay. Maybe I'm on to something. But the program itself is amazing. 10 weeks, you get to learn from the best about retail. Because if you think you're ready for retail, you need to go through a cohort program that's going to teach you and make sure that you're ready before you just jump out there. And I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity to be a part of it. My cohorts, they are so creative, and we had the opportunity to lean on each other and bounce ideas off each other. You don't necessarily get to do that in the real world because everybody think they're in competition with each other.
Exactly right.
And in this program, you're not in competition with nobody. We're all together to achieve that same common goal to learn retail. So I had a fantastic time just to be able to see what it takes to get into Target, because it takes a lot, and you self evaluate. Am I ready? And so
Mm.
I really, when I say I really enjoyed it, I enjoyed it.
Do you think do you think there were anyone even past or present that went through that and did that self-evaluation and said, you know what, I'm not ready yet?
Oh, I think all of us said that. I really think I think on one of our calls after, I can't remember which class it was. I think we all sat back and we were like, yeah, we're not ready because it is a lot. I
Mm,
mean, not just one particular retailer, the retail industry in general is a lot. And if you don't necessarily have the funding and that support and that notoriety, you got to think of, you're one small brand and one small company competing against a multi-billion dollar companies, right? So you have to know how to strategize and get your funds up for sure.
but I was also, thinking also with Target, to me, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a Facebook group called Black Girls that love Target.
Mm-hmm.
Love Target. And I think that they have been very intentional with uh, showing that BIWOC industry and people in that, BIPOC, BIWOC do go to Target and they do spend their coins
Mm-hmm.
on Black businesses if they see it. And I believe they've given to me more of a showcasing of such products. So, um, do you think that would also help with you moving into Target? Do you think that you'll is there some more steps after the cohort after you've done
Oh
with?
yeah.
Do you think what?
Like, how does so being in the Target Accelerator program does not guarantee you to be in Target, right? It's really just a resource for you to learn from the best in the industry. For me, I know I'm not ready.
Okay.
I know I'm not ready to be in Target, because there are some other things that I need to do, and I have other retailers that I'm working with too, and I'm only one person, so I have to strategically use my time and money as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned that a couple times as far as with Target. I'm sure with everyone that money is a big challenge that you gotta kind of get up to that
Mhm.
peak to get to. But yeah, that's really interesting. I did not know that Target had a cohort um, institution. So that's good to know. If
Hmm.
there's people that are who will be listening to this or watching this right now, they may want to seek it out and see if they have the gusto
I say do it. I
to.
tell people do it. Just apply. I mean, the worst they can tell you is no, but then you just keep applying. You keep going. Like if they told me no, I would apply again. Like you
See,
just apply.
and I'm not like that. I was like, well, I didn't get it, so
Because
and I had to get over that.
yeah, I mean, I had when I went to pitch to Walmart, I had a guy that told me I've been trying to do this for about 10 years, and I finally
Whoa.
got the opportunity to come here.
Whoa. Wow.
That's resilience. That's
Hmm.
not giving up. So like
Yeah,
that's when I say like people are gonna tell you no. Sometimes people change their minds.
that's very true. And then it's a growing process as well because it's like, okay, well, I came at you left to the front, up to the left, and then next time, you know what, I'm gonna go a little, I'm gonna veer to the right a little bit. It's still my same story, but maybe
Hmm.
I didn't get to share this part that may influence something a little bit more better to show that my true essence of my company.
Oh, absolutely. It's how you package it up. I've had I had a buyer that I reached out to for the past 2 years. I've been reaching out to him, email after email, calls. It's gonna be good. If you put it in your shelves, it's gonna be amazing. Yada yada yada. It wasn't until the last email that I sent where I put, when I say statistics, I'm like, this is why, and this percentage of pregnant women and people that are sober living, they need this product. And I like spelled it out, like, give me a chance. I think to the point he was like, look now, just send me your one pager and we'll talk. Like that's the type of consistency you have to
Mhm.
have. Um, in this industry, but in any industry in life, right? You can take no and then try to do something else, but if you know this is a dream and a passion, don't stop.
Mhm.
Keep going.
So was that the same feelings that you had when you did the collaboration? I guess I say collaboration, but you got your product with Slutty Vegan. How did that happen?
Oh, that was random. I don't know how that happened. I just wrote them on I wrote them. They were doing this black business highlight. They wanted to highlight black businesses. I just was like, pick me, pick me, pick me. And next thing I know, I get a message saying you got picked. Literally,
Wow.
literally. And I went down there and I showcased the wine, and we had an amazing time at Slutty Vegan.
Okay, you went to the because now she's spread out. You went to the Atlanta location.
No, we were at the Athens location. So for
Okay,
what she
okay.
was doing, she gave every brand that she picked for that Saturday, they had their own location to set up and showcase their business. So I had the
Um,
Athens location, which was fantastic because I was at the college campus. So there's a lot of college kids that can't drink.
yeah,
So it was strategically perfect. It was perfect for me.
yeah.
And
That
I
was
have people literally right now to this day that writes me like, "Girl, I remember you came down here." Like, yeah.
so. What's next for mocktails from mommy?
uh, Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
Yeah, we're getting ready to launch in the Sam's, and that's yeah, this is a big beast, and I'm not gonna say I bit off more than I can chew because this is exactly what I asked for. But I'm just mentally getting ready for Sam's.
Okay. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And is it like for them? Would it be for just starting at the Sam's locally and then branching out, or just we automatically going nationwide?
No, so we're starting out locally and then we'll branch out. Um, A lot of people don't know this, but or maybe they do, but Sam's don't sell non-alcoholic wine. They don't.
Mhm.
So giving me an opportunity where there is no opportunity um, is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal. And I think when I pitched, when me and my husband went to pitch to both Walmart and Sam's Club, um, my strategic goal, and I told them, is I want to start small with you, right? This is going
Mhm.
to be a everlasting partnership, just like it is with marriage. This is a partnership. I want to start small and grow. And as the brand grows, give me more stores. Give me more stores. So that is what exactly what I want and need, because I've had so many people that I know that have start in these big box stores, 900 stores, 500 stores, 1,000 stores, and they fall short.
Mm.
And when you fall short, they're not going to keep you. They're going to move you out the way, and they're going to put someone else that's ready and hungry to take that spot. So for me, strategically, coming in small and growing is the better deal always. For me. I can't speak for everybody, but for me.
So my last question for you, because you wear so many hats. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a CEO of a thriving company. How are you able to balance that? Being able to, have that time for hubby time, and then like, the baby is like, I can just imagine, because like how I was as a child, I didn't want my mom to leave me. I
Mm-hmm.
want to go. I want to be right by her, and it's almost soul crushing because when you hear, you know, don't leave. I want you to stay with me. How are you doing grappling with that?
Okay, so like my kids and my husband pretty much go pretty much everywhere I go for the most part.
Okay.
Like we all work. Even my 3-year old, we all work. My son, he's like the marketing guy. He goes out there. He tells people, "Hey, you want to try a sample? Bring them over to the table," because it's non-alcoholic, so he can do that, right? My daughter, she's handing out flyers or drinking the wine, and that shocks people when they see her drinking this wine. They're like, "Why are you giving wine to a kid?" And I'm like, "It's non-alcoholic." So then it starts that conversation. My husband, he works logistics literally for a living,
Okay.
so I lean
That
on him.
helps.
Oh, what it? Listen, I tell people all the time, it's some things are just fate and it's just meant to happen, because he knows how to get shipments where they need to go in a timely manner
Mm,
for an affordable price. So we work together, and I try to not always be work, and always mocktails for mommy. I try to always take the kids somewhere fun, try to have date night with hubby, but we have to make it work,
mm,
and I'm trying to get to that point where I can hire more people, and then I can say, okay, babe, we're gonna go to the beach, let's go.
yeah,
It takes time, and he knows that. And I think my kids know that. They understand that too. They
that's
understand
good. That's good. Yeah,
too.
'cause I was like, oof, that's a lot.
Oh, it is.
I can't even imagine.
It is.
Um, Even with, like I said, they have 4 legs and they're plenty. Um, to have someone that's like, hey, you need to go ahead and go to bed. You
Hmm.
and I can see that you are very tenacious. It's like, no, I got to get this
Oh
this
yeah.
this one
Team
pager
no
out. I
sleep.
got to do this
Mm.
the sponsor deck. I got to do this. I got to just hold on. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't sleep. It's like team no sleep over here. People are like, how are you functioning? I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't. Sometimes I will stay up. I think one time I like stayed up till like 6 o'clock in the morning, went to sleep for an hour, woke back up and went to work. And I was like, how am I functioning? Like
That's
how?
that's called adrenaline.
Yeah, because when you crash.
Right. Right. Right.
So, just I just keep pushing. As I tell people, just keep it pushing.
Well, I really enjoyed and loved talking to you, Ashley, about
Oh, thank you.
Mocktails for Mommy. It's been really great. I've gotten some great insight, and I I wanted to order a bottle, but I knew that when I left, I was gonna miss it. I
Oh
just
no.
so I have to make sure that I put that in my arsenal, because there's sometimes that I want to have something, but I don't want to have the alcohol. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, um, when I have people on the podcast, some people don't drink, and so I want to um, be attuned to who my guest is. So, oh,
Absolutely.
if I don't have now, I can have some wine. I've finished all my beers. Maybe I can do a little toss up,
Absolutely.
because it's definitely a need,
Oh, for sure. For
and
sure.
I'm glad that you saw the need as far as having a mocktail for mommies as well as others, because there's
Yeah.
lots of people who are, okay, I can't drink, and
Yeah.
but I still want to be in the mix at the function. I want to have
Yeah.
have something in my glass too.
I get that
So,
all the time. Other than Sprite with a little lime or something,
yeah. I want a
little
little,
Shirley Temple.
yeah. I want to be snazzy too. When
Yeah.
I'm at the function, I'm dressed up. I want to have something in my glass too. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but thank you so much, and I think that's it. I think we are going into May. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, everybody. Stay tuned. There's one last fact I totally forgot. So I'm gonna share this with you as well, Ashley. So when I went to CBC, this is a transparent moment for me, um, because I do have a demure of being very calm, cool, and collected, but I happened to go and I met a young lady who who actually listened to the podcast, and I was in complete shock, just complete shock. And even when she said, so I'm bawling in this conference, um, and I'm still in disbelief,
Yeah.
because just like for you, like, okay, mocktails, it's gonna be family and everything. But when you find that there's somebody else that is not in your circle is
Mm-hmm.
trying it out, it makes you feel really good. Like, okay, you really enjoy this product. And I still didn't believe her until she started telling me stuff that I said.
Yeah.
The only way she would have known that she listened to the podcast. I was, I was, mm-mm,
Yep. It
crying
makes
again,
a
not
difference.
crying no more.
It
But
makes a difference. It
that's
makes a it makes a difference, a huge difference, because you feel like all that hard work that you put into your brand, it it's finally come to fruition. Like it's there. Yeah.
yes, yes. But we will see y'all next week, and stay tuned for a couple more announcements. Y'all have a great night.